Can you accept the use of AI in being used partially on designing anime figures or making anime? Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. Today with a topic that I have always wanted to bring up, but I haven't had the opportunity, and also I needed to collect enough material and data on this. But finally we have a figure that was so very suspicious, that I need to touch on it first before I proceed to the topic of AI, which is something a lot of us dislike because it is making people lose their jobs, right? You have artists, you have illustrators losing their job because advertisers and big companies no longer need their services anymore when they can just generate an illustration out of nowhere within seconds. And then there are the people who write in general, writing for books, for websites, or even translators. They lose their job for the same reason, because ChatGPT can generate it within seconds, right? Like a whole book within minutes sometimes. So putting that aside, it is becoming clear that we hate AI simply because it is making the rich richer and the poor poorer. It is always down to this, right? The big companies, they save their money, they don't have to hire that much, and more profit margins. But putting that aside, our focus over here is on anime figures because that is what this channel is about. And to some extent, anime production itself. Yes, we are going to discuss a bit about One Punch Man Season 3 later on. But the first thing I would like to bring up is this figure over here, which I have discussed twice by now. The last time was 2 weeks ago, where she appeared in Ami, available for pre-order. This new Chinese brand called Gogu Bird, or we Asians love calling it Gogu Bird, which is a slang for PP. Calligraphy Girl Boku Ensei, original character. The price would be 33,500 yen at 1/6 scale. That is the deluxe version, which includes a wall scroll, and 31k for the standard version. There is a cast-off feature apparently, and releasing in what is the release date over here? Okay, September 2026. Right. So when I recorded my figure news fix video 2 weeks ago, like the day before I recorded it, this figure was not available in MFC's database. It wasn't there, and my assumption was that MFC refused to add it into their database because this is AI generated artwork, or at least that was the accusation by people on the internet, including in HPOI. And currently I would like to show you the website HPOI, but that website is broken. I have no idea why it is not displaying properly. But anyways, that was the accusation by people on the internet. But then, by the time I have finished recording that figure news fix episode 2 weeks ago, this figure has been listed on MFC, and down in the comments section, there was a long discussion about how this is AI artwork, and there was a user who even posted an article on telling everyone beware about this figure brand and another brand called Elixir Dream, which I'm not discussing today. Elixir Dream has ties to Arctic Wolf Studio. I've discussed that in an Arctic Wolf Studio video before. So regarding these two brands, the author of the article basically said that be careful because these two brands are not to be trusted and there are accusations of using AI. But by today, like within the last 48 hours, when I checked that article back, it is gone. Disappeared, right? Articles being deleted from MFC is not that unusual itself. Sometimes the topic is too controversial, attracting unwanted attention, or you end up with a troll fest in the comment section. Things are out of control, people behaving badly all the time, then they would delete the entire article itself. So that is not that uncommon, unfortunately. But what makes this deletion a bit sus in general, there are two things to bear in mind. The first one would be back to this figure thread over here, this Boku Ensei figure. If you scroll down to the bottom, there are now only 2 comments left. Only 2. Before this, there was more than a dozen comments discussing about how this figure is AI and so on. They are all gone, except for one somewhat negative comment over here from Mare Era. Within China, this company does not have a very good reputation, so please be careful, without any further elaboration. So how can you accuse this company, Gogu Bird? of having bad reputation when they do not have any reputation to begin with. No past releases, no social media presence. Is this false accusation because of business espionage, for example, where companies, they try to smear each other for personal gain? Competition after all, that is also a possibility. But if there is something even weirder than this, that would be this article which was deleted from MFC. I tried looking for cached copies on the internet, right? Google Cache, web archives, and even Wayback Machines. And in case you don't know what a Wayback Machine is, it is like time travel on the internet. You can go back in the past to view an older copy of the website Wayback Machine. Everything has been scrubbed from the internet. Nothing is left, not even a cached copy. I'm not sure if a cached copy even existed in the first place, but there are nothing on the internet to look back. No older copies of this webpage, which is a bit sus. And the only thing remaining is that if you paste that link to the article into Google search, you get this, only a little bit of it. So the first search result, warning regarding Chinese companies Gogu Bird and Elixir Dream, potential risk, the owner has previously disappeared with the money of buyers from another company without any compensation. And in case of any problems, blah blah blah. We don't know what is the rest of the article because it is gone. But that part about taking money of buyers, deposit money, and fleeing with that money, that is a topic I discussed before in my Arctic Wolf Studio video. So that may be in reference to Elixir Dream or Arctic Wolf Studio in general, which has ties to each other. But once again, there is also no definite proof about it. So the question here is that, did they delete everything from the internet because it is a false accusation and they do not want to deal with any potential legal issues? Or the accusation is actually true, but they wanted to bury the truth and they don't want anyone to know about it? It can go either way, right? And I'm not implying which is correct, which is wrong, because I don't know the answer myself. What I'm doing over here is that I have compiled everything that has happened in the past 2 weeks and share it with everyone, and then I'll leave it to you to make an informed decision whether to pre-order or purchase this figure or not. And in my opinion, you don't really have to worry about the company taking your money and fleeing if you pre-ordered her on Army, right? Because they don't take any deposit to begin with. This is mostly a problem with Taobao because that is how Taobao works. Whenever you pre-order something that will come out much later, you need to pay a deposit. And to some extent, that is how most local businesses over here in my country work. Currently, at the time of recording this video, this figure of Boku Ensei is still available in MFC's database. It has not been deleted. You can comment as usual at the bottom, and also in the information section over here, there are no warnings of any kind. Usually, they will mention something over there if there are any controversies involving the figure. And this is also where we move on to our second topic for today, right? Which would be myfigurecollection.net. They do not list certain figures in their database because they are either stolen artwork or something unethical happened, including the use of AI-generated artwork to make anime figures. So if MFC is still refusing to list AI-generated artwork figures into their database, yet Boku Ensei is available, that would mean that figure is not AI, most likely, right? So we take a look at this article over here. These figures would be normally allowed as they follow standard JP whitelisted origin company artist rules, but other circumstances stop them from being added. This trait does not include figures that are unlicensed, bootlegs, and etc. etc. Okay. So this figure over here, My Little Kitten No Mimi 1/7 scale by Xingluo Guan, not available in MFC's database because it is AI artwork. I think one of you in my Discord server purchased this figure and you posted pictures in my server. So the figure was somewhat mid, right? Like, it is not that great. It is okay for the price, very low price, but the quality is just average. So this is not the only AI artwork. When it comes to Be-Full Inside Forge Japan, this is something interesting. Nikukan Girl AI figures. In year 2023, Insight held a Nikukan Girl figure design contest. 2 out of the 3 winners in this contest are AI artwork, which was encouraged by Insight themselves. The two AI winners are as follows. I want to put the pictures on screen. So these two figures over here, I won by Kanashiki Super AI, and also Tokume Shoujo P by Capybara. I won't put the pictures on screen for obvious reasons. They are AI generated artwork and being made into figures by Ensei, so they are not available in MFC's database. And then there are also the dispute section over here. Bunny Girl scale figure by Free Will Studio. This figure is allegedly based on uncredited fan artwork from this guy, Madoka Higuchi by Louis. And lastly, we have more over here. AI generated artwork. This Ensei figure over here, Jirai K by Hiyoko Tensho, not available in MFC. Disputes Bunny Girl Rabito by Apocrypha Toy. Figure was announced as an original character using fan art of Deco 27's Rabbit Hole Hatsune Miku design. As of September 14, 2024, this figure has been cancelled. And we have more here. Honkai Style Kafka. This is a garage kit by Mingjia Dong De Gongfang. Okay. And the sculptor, color producer, and so on. But AI work by another different person. So there is a dispute on this Kafka figure. And what else do we have? This is a figure we discussed before on this channel, Momorosa. This figure, I actually reviewed it on this channel because I wasn't even aware that it was based off stolen artwork. So this one, I won't go into detail again. I have a video on this in the past. And more AI generated artwork. This Jen Diak. Okay. Garage Kit. Okay, this is for the Garage Kit section. And that is all for now. So these figures are not in MFC's database, and that Boku Ensei figure earlier is not one of them. So for now, I am going to assume that it is not AI generated artwork. So now we move on to our next topic again before we discuss in detail, and that would be One Punch Man Season 3. Once again, related to AI, right? So if you are watching seasonal anime like I do, I watch quite a bit of them, but nowadays I'm more selective. One Punch Man Season 3 has been full of controversies because of the terrible animation. And then there are people on the internet, like this guy over here, Furmore, who says that if they do not have the time or the budget to animate it properly, why not use AI? And he just gave us an example over here. This was shared everywhere. He has multiple examples, but I'm sharing only one example over here. One Punch Man Season 3 is absolute garbage, especially at the last episode. I mean the latest episode, episode 6 I think. They should just enhance those frames using AI. For example, I took this frame and asked Grok to make her talk and move her hands with a slight movement of her hair and clothes. And I have to admit, the AI results over there look incredible, right? So the biggest problem with One Punch Man is that it feels like watching a PowerPoint presentation. Many of the conversations, talking scenes, the characters are completely static, not moving at all. And just by using AI, they can make it look so much better. So this is where the moral and ethical dilemma comes in. Probably JC staff knew that there is the option to use AI to enhance it, but they refused to do it because the artists working for JC staff, the animators, the illustrators, the keyframe editors and so on, they would probably be unhappy with that. Like, it feels like their profession being insulted. There is a likelihood where JC staff has considered it but refrained from doing so in case something untoward happens and people notice they used AI, resulting in an even bigger backlash, or maybe they do not want to offend their staff who are working on the anime, right? It can be many reasons. I'm going to give you guys some of my personal opinions, my personal examples even, my own work, where I've seen AI being hugely beneficial to my workflow as a content creator, but at the same time, I want my works to be as original, as authentic as possible, right? Which is why I have a camera on my desk over here, just to let you guys know that I'm not just a YouTuber. I also photograph stuff. I'm a photographer. For the past 13, 14 years in fact, and I am a well-known figure photographer, at least in the past. You can check out my MFC profile. I have a lot of figure photography works published over there. They're all authentic stuff. I even published behind the scenes pictures to show you guys my setup is the legitimate one. The way I'm using AI is not to make something out of nothing, but to use AI to enhance my work, to make things more efficient in a way. And let me show you guys some example over here. This is my screen recordings. The first example over here given by Adobe Photoshop, you can remove any object, they circle the suitcase, and one click, it is gone. Very convincing results, right? The AI will fill in the background for you. And then the next one here, harmonize. Basically, you put any object that wasn't there in that photograph, and you can combine them seamlessly. So they added the chair, they click harmonize, and the lighting of the chair now looks like it was there in the picture originally, even though it wasn't there. So this may seem like cheating, right? You are a photographer, you shoot something, and then you add something into the photograph that wasn't there and make it look very realistic. So this is something that photography purists like me will really cringe when we see it. This is like, you are cheating a photograph. This is not authentic. But it is a tool so useful for advertisers, for illustrators who want to create something very quickly. You know, when you, for example, real estate photography, you want to promote a house that is for sale or a furniture that is for sale. In this case, you insert it into a very nice photograph and then you edit it this way. But what does that mean? The photographer that would normally be hired to do this job, to photograph the actual furniture at location, will no longer be hired for the job. So people lose their jobs, right? Next one over here, this is my own example. I use this feature to edit my YouTube video thumbnails because it is so fast. So I inserted this figure into Photoshop, one click and the background is gone. So every week you look at my figure news quick video, I have 3 main figures, 3 highlight figures, which are overlapping each other and they appear to be so seamlessly blended with each other, one in front, one behind, and so on. It is Adobe Photoshop's AI, and I can make my thumbnails within a few minutes, right? So another example over here, a very busy, a very complex background, one single click, remove background, and a perfect cutout of the figure. This is AI once again. Another example over here, see, a perfect cutout. So this is the kind of features where it is extremely helpful for us content creators or creative people. And the next example over here, this is me experimenting with AI. I'm just experimenting. I'm always trying new things. So this is a profile picture, not profile picture, a YouTube video thumbnail picture that I used in one of my figure haul videos a few months back. And I was testing out AI features where I wanted to make myself look poor after buying so many figures, so many boxes, right? So this is where you can fill in a background where the picture is not wide enough, not 16:9 ratio. And then there is this generative expand. So I just stretch out the pictures. Right, I stretch it out and then I click generative fill in the background. And then Adobe would give me the final result over here, generate it for me. Okay, generating. And there we go, that is the result. So Adobe Photoshop is filling in the background so convincingly, and I liked the results. I used it for my video thumbnail as a test, right? And here we have a third example, my very own photography work straight out of my camera. I did not like the orange pole, the orange object on the right side. So I just highlighted it roughly. It does not have to be a very accurate selection. And then I told Adobe Lightroom to remove that object over there and fill in the background for me. So that orange object is gone and they filled it in the background very convincingly. So that was a nice result. So the Miku cosplayer picture I just showed you guys, that is a perfect example of using AI to enhance something that is authentic initially, right? Straight out of camera. And if I were to apply the same principle into making anime figures or making anime itself, what if the artist, your favorite artist even, he or she drew the character by hand, their own original character drawn on a tablet, right? And maybe the artwork was 80-90% complete. They used AI to enhance, to create the final result, to make it even slightly better. And for the case of anime figures, maybe the figure was illustrated by hand, but the base, the diorama, if any, a chair and a desk next to the main figure, that was AI generated. Will you be able to accept that? And this question, I would love to hear your answer on this. Basically, the figure is authentic and also AI at the same time. But bear in mind that the main character, the main figure, is mostly authentic, except for the final small touches, because there is a likelihood where anime figure brands, including the biggest ones, be it Good Smile or also anyone else, there is a likelihood they are already doing this, but we do not know about it because they would not share it. If they do, yes, people will just have a big uproar and boycott them and so on. When I look at anime figure brands push out so many new figure pre-orders every week and releasing so many stuff every month, granted the delays are getting longer, I had to wonder how much of it is done by human hands and how much of it was assisted by AI. Right? There is always that possibility. My opinion on this is that if you were to use AI to create something out of nothing, 100% AI generated, then that is something that I just couldn't support, because basically the AI is just scraping the internet, taking other people's characters and combining it into a new one. So it is like stealing other people's artwork. But if you were to use it to enhance your own work, to make it look slightly better, then maybe that should be okay. I know I feel like I'm trying to look for an excuse to justify the use of AI, but I am a realistic person. I am not an idealist. So when I look at the direction this whole world is going towards, is headed towards, it feels like this AI thing is going to be a part of our lives whether we like it or not. In fact, in China right now, every person that is attending school, they have to learn AI in their curriculum. It is a mandatory subject. So in about 10 or 15 years' time, every single young adult coming out from high school or college, every single one of them knows how to code AI. And try to imagine how scary that is. So when you see people doing that, I think instead of fighting them, you need to join them. Otherwise, you will be left out. Yeah. So you need to upskill yourself and learn how to use these things. For me, I'm just using AI for very superficial stuff, making YouTube thumbnails and editing photos, but I'm not generating something out of nothing. Like, do remember that I'm also a photographer, which means I am also affected by AI, yet I'm not fully rejecting AI at all. I'm incorporating it into my work partially because I see the benefits for it when it comes to productivity. And I always provide behind the scenes pictures to my photography work just to prove that it is authentic. And I got into the video game into YouTube for this similar reason, where AI is destroying photography in general. But video, at least you can show everyone that you are authentic, you are a real person. And I doubt that AI generated videos will be able to copy me perfectly because of the way I speak on YouTube. It is on purpose. When I say nyan nyan for the pink color slit down there between the legs of a woman, I mix up words from different languages and even include words that don't even exist for this reason. It is all intentional, right? So this is a video that has been going on for quite a while, a long one, but there were a lot of things to discuss about AI. So by the end of today's discussion, I have only one simple question that I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Can you accept the use of AI in being used partially on designing anime figures or making anime, right? Which means you are not generating something out of nothing. It is not the kind of AI slop you're seeing on TikTok and YouTube nowadays, where the whole thing is fake, nothing is real. What I'm trying to say over here is partial use. Maybe 80% of the figure is real, hand-drawn by a human, the other 20% enhanced by AI, stuff like that. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this, and hopefully that today's video is beneficial to you or maybe educational, because I just showcased 2 or 3 examples on how AI can be used rather than just creating something out of a blank slate, right? So until then, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week, and until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.